In the last 6 hours, T.I. just made a mistake that could cost him long-term industry leverage. During a livestream that is now circulating across platforms, T.I. publicly questioned the morality of artists capitalizing on the federal investigation surrounding Sean, Diddy, Combs. He didn't scream. He didn't threaten. But he implied that turning alleged legal turmoil into entertainment content was clout-driven. And in context, the industry understood exactly who that was aimed at. 50 Cent. That was the line-crossing moment. Because 50 Cent is not reacting to the Diddy situation emotionally. He is building
Why'd I
around
spend
it.
$10 million to destroy this empire? Because this empire wasn't built on loyalty. It was personal.
Introduce instability into a business war. Here's why this is not casual commentary. 50 Cent has already announced plans to produce content surrounding the allegations. Reports state streaming platforms are involved. That means this is structured, legal, strategic. T.I., however, framed it as ethics. And this is where the contradiction detonates. From T.I.'s perspective, he likely believes he defended dignity. That he drew a line in the sand and said, there are limits. But 50 Cent does not operate in moral language. He operates in leverage. Historically, when 50 Cent engages in conflict, 3 patterns emerge. He never rushes. He reframes the opponent as emotional. He turns attention into monetization. He has done this with multiple artists and industry figures over the years. Not through physical escalation, but through narrative dominance. And that's the danger. T.I. may feel he made a principled stand. But strategically, he may have just entered a long-term psychological campaign. Because in 50 Cent's ecosystem, conflict is oxygen. Let's lock in what we actually know. T.I. questions the ethics of exploiting alleged legal crises. He never names 50 Cent directly in the first segment, but the timing makes the implication unavoidable. Within hours, 50 Cent responds, calm, sarcastic, dismissive. He implies critics should manage their own business. Notice what he didn't do. No threats. No emotional rant. No direct escalation. That restraint is calculated. A resurfaced clip now trending shows 50 Cent explaining how he handles industry disputes. He states he competes structurally, not emotionally. This is critical, because perception is forming in real time. Social media is split. One side says T.I. stood on principle. The other warns that provoking 50 Cent historically leads to reputational consequences. And there's another layer most people are missing. If 50 Cent's documentary plans move forward successfully, he benefits financially from attention, including this conflict. Which means even criticism becomes promotion. That's not anger. That's conversion. Let's analyze mindset. T.I.'s brand historically centers around intellect and authority. He positions himself as measured, reflective, principled. But in high-conflict environments, principled statements can be weaponized. 50 Cent's brand is different. He thrives on perception warfare. He understands meme culture. He understands viral momentum. He understands how to stretch a conflict over months without appearing desperate. So when T.I. frames him as opportunistic, that can easily be flipped into, why is T.I. worried? That reframing is powerful, because doubt spreads faster than defense. Now here's where this becomes strategic. If history tells us anything about 50 Cent, the response will not be loud. It will be layered. Expect one of 3 outcomes. Strategic silence. He lets speculation grow, allowing T.I. to appear reactive. Narrative reversal. Old interviews or past controversies involving T.I. resurface. Not accusations, reminders. Monetized escalation. A larger announcement, tied to his documentary plans drops, subtly reinforcing that he is unfazed and profitable. And here's the open loop. If 50 Cent reframes this situation successfully, the conversation shifts from, was he wrong? To, why did T.I. involve himself? That shift alone alters public perception. This is not about who is right. This is about who controls narrative gravity. Because in modern hip-hop, reputation is capital. And once capital starts eroding publicly, recovery becomes expensive. The real mistake may not be what T.I. said. It may be underestimating the type of opponent he addressed. This is not emotional warfare. This is strategic positioning. And this story is still developing. Stay alert. Because if escalation comes, it won't look explosive. It will look calculated. Here's what most people are overlooking. This isn't just T.I. versus 50 Cent. This is legacy versus momentum. T.I. represents a generation that built influence through lyrical dominance, cultural leadership, and Southern authority. 50 Cent represents a generation that mastered controversy as a marketing engine. Two different philosophies. One believes silence equals maturity. The other believes silence equals weakness. And when those philosophies collide publicly, the fallout isn't immediate. It compounds. If 50 Cent continues to post subtle jabs, the algorithm will do the rest. Media outlets will amplify every exchange. Commentary channels will dissect every word. The situation becomes self-sustaining. And in that environment, whoever appears less composed loses leverage. Now let's examine media dynamics. If reports are accurate that 50 Cent's documentary project tied to Sean, Diddy, Combs is in development, then controversy increases visibility. In digital ecosystems, outrage converts. If T.I. continues to challenge him publicly, he could unintentionally fuel the marketing cycle. Every response becomes free promotion. That's the trap. Because 50 Cent does not need to win socially. He needs engagement. And engagement is measurable. Streams, clicks, headlines. This is no longer a disagreement. It's a content loop. Now let's talk risk. T.I.'s brand has evolved over the years into something more reflective. Podcast conversations, community discussions, thoughtful analysis. If he remains in this conflict too long, that brand identity shifts. He risks being pulled into reactionary territory. And perception, once altered, is difficult to reset. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's brand is conflict-resistant. He expects backlash. He absorbs it. That asymmetry is critical. One man risks disruption. The other thrives in disruption. That imbalance alone changes the battlefield. So here's the real question. Does T.I. disengage and protect brand stability? Or does he double down,
You think I'm playing with you?
Escalate publicly?
I don't think, I know.
Because if escalation happens, it won't
know.
look emotional. It will look strategic. And when strategy meets pride, history shows us one thing. The loudest voice doesn't win. The most patient one does. This war is still unfolding. And the next move will determine who controls the narrative for the rest of the year.